All right. I want to do this really quick video here because I want to show you how to manipulate the histogram in Rguroo so that you can respond to questions like this one. I'm not playing this as a student, so we can see that the answer is 8. But here it says that the 20 fastest finishing times in minutes for runners in a road race are given in the table below. So we have 20 numbers in here. We're going to use Rguroo to create a histogram. And then from the histogram, we need to have how many of the runners finish in 135 minutes or less. So I'm going to download the CSV and I'm going to move to Rguroo so we can work with this. So we go to data, we go to data import, and we input a data set. Last one, it's in there, and then so this is the finishing time. If I can go where I need to go. Finishing times, there we go. I'm gonna upload this. So let's ignore this. We need to do a histogram. So histograms it's in plots. I'm gonna create a plot and we open the histogram. We're gonna open that finishing times. We choose the only variable that we have in there, so that's what we have. And so I am going to show you here that it's gonna be very hard to split this in 135 and see how like the count that we have from 135 to the left. So instead of that, we are going to the details. And here when it says beans, bars, and smoothing is where you can change the break points of your histogram. So if we go here, let me see. Oh my God. Okay. Let me see if I can, I just wish I can make this smaller. Anyway, look, let me close it. So the smallest point in the histogram is 120, right? So that can be our starting point. So I'm going to go back here and I will say, instead of just letting Rguroo to use the Friedman Diaconis method, which is the one that we used to do Rguroos without like us letting Rguroo know where do we want the breakpoints to occur, we want to set that. So instead of doing that, I'm going to do begin, and I'm going to tell Rguroo, I want you to start at 120, right? And I want the next stop to be 135. So to go from 120 to 135, I need to add 15 to 120. So we start at 120. We made the bean 15 units width. So it means that the bean will start at 120 and will end at 135. So if we do that and we click the blue eye, you see how the shape of the histogram changed, and now this bean in here, it's telling me how many we have from 120 all the way to 135, and the count is the height of the bean, which is 8. If you want to see that better, you can go to the basics and always label the counts. And so when you label the counts, you see the numbers very clear in the top of each of the beans. A bean is just each column. We just call the columns in histogram a bean, just statistical language. So this is where this 8 that we have in here is coming from. So again, it's just setting the break point in a way that it's beneficial for us to get the number that we want. If we want to know how many counts do we have less than 135, we just create one bean that starts at 120, which is our minimum point in the data set, all the way to 135, and the only thing I'm doing is just adding 15. So if you go here and you order this, so Well, the minimum is 125. It doesn't really matter where you start. Any number to the left of 125 is going to work. So, I mean, we are choosing 120. You can do 124. It needs to be something a little less than your minimum. So Rguroo account for this number as well. So if I go here and I change this, instead of 120, we'll start at 124. But then we need to make sure that we go all the way just to 135. So we only add 11. And we do it again. And here we have our first bin that goes all the way to 135. And we still see that 8 in there. So the 8 is not changing as far as everything that we have in that first bin, in that first column. It's all of the numbers less than 135, which is your question right here. Okay, so whether or not you start at 120 and you add 15, that's not like the required thing that you need to do. You only need to make sure that you're creating a bin that gives you the information that you need. So if you decide that you don't want to start at 120, but instead you want to start at 124, that's totally fine. But you need to change the width because you want that first bin to stop at 135. So I'm adding 11 instead of 15 because 124 plus 11, it's 135. So I make it stop where I need it to stop. Okay. So that's one of the questions that I wanted to go back and talk to you about.